Hey guys, welcome back to our channel where we explore the most mysterious and unsettling stories from around the world. Today, we're going to take a closer look at some of the most disturbing cases of people disappearing into the woods without a trace. Our first story takes us to a remote forest in the Pacific Northwest. It was a beautiful summer day when a group of 4 friends decided to go on a camping trip. They set up their tents near a clear stream and started exploring the area. But when nightfall came, they realized that one of their friends was missing. They searched the woods for hours, calling out his name, but there was no response. The next day, they reported him missing to the authorities, but despite an extensive search operation, no trace of him was ever found. As the search continued, the missing camper's friends and family were left to wonder what could have happened to him. They couldn't understand how someone could just vanish without a trace, especially in an area where they had already explored. The authorities were baffled as well, as they searched the woods for miles around the campsite. Despite using search dogs, helicopters, and drones, no sign of the missing camper was ever found. The authorities expanded their search, covering more ground and looking for any clues that could lead them to the missing person, but nothing was found. Eventually, the search had to be called off due to the lack of evidence or leads. The missing camper's friends and family were left with no answers, only speculation about what could have happened. Some believed that he may have been attacked by an animal, while others thought he might have gotten lost and died of exposure. Some even speculated that he might have been abducted by someone who was in the area, but there was no evidence to support any of these theories. The case of the missing camper remains a mystery to this day, leaving his loved ones with the agony of not knowing what happened to him. It's a stark reminder of how nature can be unpredictable, and how quickly things can turn from a fun camping trip to a terrifying ordeal. Our second story is about a family of 3 who went on a hiking trip in the Appalachian Mountains. They had been hiking for a few hours when they suddenly realized that they had lost their way. They tried to retrace their steps, but the forest looked completely different from every angle. Soon, they started to feel like they were being watched. The father decided to leave his wife and daughter in a safe spot while he went to find help. He never returned. The search team found the wife and daughter safe, but the father was never seen again. As the father went to find help, the wife and daughter waited anxiously for his return. They had no food or water, and the temperature was dropping as night approached. They tried to keep themselves warm and calm, hoping that the father would come back soon with help. Hours went by, and there was still no sign of the father. The wife and daughter were growing increasingly worried, and they started to hear strange noises coming from the woods. They didn't know if it was just their imagination or if something was actually out there. As night fell, they built a small fire and huddled together, hoping for the best. The search team arrived the next day and found the wife and daughter safe, but there was no sign of the father. The search operation was expanded, but still, there was no trace of him. The search team did find some unusual footprints and other signs that suggested there may have been something out in the woods, but they couldn't be sure what it was. The wife and daughter were questioned extensively, but they didn't have any answers. The case of the missing father remains a mystery to this day, leaving his family with the heartbreak of not knowing what happened to him. Some believe that he may have gotten lost in the woods and died of exposure, while others speculate that he may have been attacked by a wild animal or even abducted. The family may never know the truth, but the incident serves as a reminder of how quickly a fun family trip can turn into a nightmare. It also highlights the importance of being prepared and knowledgeable when venturing into the wilderness. Our final story is perhaps the most terrifying. A group of experienced hikers decided to explore a remote forest in Russia known for its beauty and danger. The area was so isolated that it was only accessible by helicopter. The hikers set up their tents near a small lake and started exploring. But one night, they were awoken by terrifying sounds coming from the woods. They could hear footsteps, whispers, and strange noises that seemed to be coming from every direction. They decided to pack up and leave, but when they tried to find the way back to the helicopter, they got lost. The search team found their empty tents, but the hikers were never seen again. The hikers had come to the remote forest in Russia to experience its beauty and danger, but what they experienced was something far beyond their wildest nightmares. As they set up their tents near the small lake and began their exploration, they had no idea of the horrors that awaited them. It was the middle of the night when the hikers were awoken by sounds that chilled them to the bone. They could hear footsteps crunching on the dry leaves, whispers that seemed to be coming from every direction, and strange noises that they couldn't identify. They were terrified and decided to pack up and leave, but as they tried to find their way back to the helicopter, they realized they were lost. The forest seemed to have changed, the familiar landmarks were gone, and the trails were all leading them in circles. Panic set in as they realized that they were truly lost in the wilderness, with no idea of how to get out. They tried to use their GPS and other equipment to find their way, but nothing seemed to work. It was as if they were in a different world altogether. As the days passed, the search team scoured the area but found no trace of the hikers. Their empty tents were found, but it was as if they had vanished into thin air. The forest was searched thoroughly, and yet no evidence of their presence was found. It was as if they had been swallowed up by the wilderness itself. The incident has become one of the most mysterious and chilling disappearances in recent history. Many theories have been put forward, from abduction by a wild animal to a government cover-up. The truth may never be known, but what is clear is that the wilderness can be an unforgiving and unpredictable place. It is a place where we can quickly lose ourselves, and where we can easily fall prey to forces beyond our control. The story of these hikers serves as a cautionary tale, a warning of the dangers that can lurk in the wild places of the world. So there you have it, guys. These are just a few of the many cases of people disappearing into the woods without a trace. It's a chilling reminder that even in our modern age, there are still mysteries that cannot be explained. Let us know in the comments if you've ever had any creepy experiences while out in the wilderness. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling stories like this one. Thanks for watching.